Hello everyone, and I'm just wanting to have some engagement because it's really cool to see the highlight reel, the photos of the awesome pristine places. It's really cool to read the blogs about how epic life is and how breaking free from the institution's the greatest thing ever. But what we don't see so much or tend to focus on is what happens when you have a hard day. So, hey Andre, thanks for joining. So what happens, hey Sandy, thanks for joining. So what happens when we have a challenging day? Well, I'm going to start by telling you about my day yesterday. So you guys know, Lindsay and myself, we live full-time in Golden Ticket. Now, hey Crystal, thanks for joining. Now, Golden Ticket is epic. We love our home. We love RV life. We love exploring. We love working with people the way we do. We love sharing, that little bit of wisdom that we have gained along our path. Hey Heather. And there's very little about the choices in life that we've made that we don't enjoy, and there's nothing that we regret at all. Leaving Long Beach, leaving management positions in our job, all of that stuff. Hey Boo, thanks for watching. Hey Kathleen. All of that stuff, walking away from it, breaking free, you know what? Best thing we ever did. On the road, life is fun. Life is on your own schedule. Life is on your timetable. When you are embracing that kind of life, you strive for balance. You do, hey Linda, thanks for joining. You strive for balance, you do a little bit of work, you explore a beautiful place. You do a little bit of work, you explore a beautiful place. Hey Jason, thanks for joining, buddy. Now, it's not all roses, it's not all, whatever analogy you want to use. It's not all peaches and cream. There are some really tough days when you're on the road. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I think I know what some of you might be thinking, right? What's a tough day on the road? You guys live in an RV and you explore national parks. What's a tough day? Boo-hoo. I got to sit in a damn office. I got to pour concrete. I got to lay bricks. I've got to crawl through under houses and fix shitters like some instructional blog thing we just watched. You know what? Hey Julie. Hey Bev. So you do get tough days no matter what you choose to do, right? We call it eating a shit sandwich. You've got to have your shit with your cornflakes. It's like somebody said to me once when I was a kid. I actually remember the conversation. My mum was a politician and she was running for election for, one of the areas that she was involved with. And she was doing a fundraiser and she had made friends with some bikers, these guys who rode their Harley Davidsons on the Gold Coast. I'm not sure if they were part of a gang or not, but they were pretty cool guys, and we used to hang out with them a little bit. And I was talking to one of them one day, and I asked, what is it that you would, any advice for life? I'm suffering from anxiety, I get panic attacks. What would you recommend? You seem pretty happy. And he laughed. This guy with this massive beard, covered in tattoos, wearing his leather-studded jacket. He's got this big Harley Davidson. And he looks at me and he laughs and he says, son, you got to eat your shit with your cornflakes. And that stuck. That stuck like shit to a blanket. That has never left me. And so, no matter what path you choose in life, you've got to understand that that path is going to involve eating some shit. It's a shit sandwich. What shit sandwich are you willing to eat? So here we are yesterday. We woke up on this it was not so little, it was a gravel pad. It was a boondocking site, right? It was right beside a lake. We're still in the mountains, we're still at altitude, so we woke up, it was cold, it was quiet, it was a beautiful spot. And I remember saying the day before when we rolled in there, you know what, this is a pretty epic spot. Didn't have to pay a cent, we weren't hooked up. We were having this the dogs didn't have to be on leashes. They could run and chase. And it was a really cool afternoon. And, we woke up and then we packed up, we warmed up Goldie because she takes forever to warm up, especially at altitude. We got to sit there letting this shit bag idle for like half an hour before she's warm enough to even try and move. And I say shitbag with all the love in the world. So we're driving. Now, before we rolled out, we didn't plot a course. Didn't really know where we were going. We had a destination in mind, didn't know where we were going, didn't really have an idea of, you know, what the day was going to bring. It's okay. Communication breakdown starts the day. I didn't have any communication, Linz didn't have any communication. So, whatever. I punch into my GPS the end destination. Want to get to Craters of the Moon, so I'm going to put Craters of the Moon in there and I'm just going to drive towards whatever route it says while I've still got service. When service is dropped off, I learned the hard way that it's all about your mindset. It certainly is. So, start driving towards Craters of the Moon, right? Now, as we're getting... Imagine, here's the map, right? And we're down here. Craters of the Moon is over here and we're going this way. So we're coming up along here towards Craters. We get to about this point and Lindsay says something along the lines of, we don't have to go to Craters if we don't want to, it's out of the way. And I'm like, hang on, we were here and we're going south. So we're already out of the way. And breakdown. That's the point where it all exploded. That's the point where...
20 miles in.
She's still arguing with me over it. So guys, here's the point. No communication when we started our course. Start towards where we're going, halfway or 20 miles in, where we start with the, we don't really have to do this, we could just divert south. I'm like, well, we're already out of the way, you know. Well, the day blew up. We ended up in a fight. Now, when we get in a fight, Lindsay is my Achilles heel. She's the chink in my armor. Anybody else argues with me, I'm going to have fun arguing back. I'm going to show you so many different ways why I'm right and you're not, and I'm going to talk circles until you're believing it. At least that's the way it's always traditionally been. I'm getting better at not doing that. But here's the thing. When Lindsay and I argue, I know I'm in the wrong 9 times out of 10, and it shuts me down. Hey Phil, how are you, buddy? I'm being dramatic. It shuts me down and I go on this downward spiral and these old depressive patterns kick back in, and it's really, really difficult for me to sling myself back out of that state. Okay, when I get into that position, so I'm driving and I'm all driving like this, and Lindsay would ask me something, I'd be like, no. She's like, are you okay? Yep. And then she took my bad mood personally. Instead of just being like, you know, babe, I can see you're struggling. I know you're in a downward spiral. I'm just going to step back. I'll leave you alone. When you're ready, I'm here. I love you. Instead of that, she took it personally. And so she plummeted down. And so when I started to open back up, there's a brick wall. And I'm just like... And then we slingshot like that. We leapfrog each other all day long. Our bad moods were leapfrogging each other. So, RV life with Moaning Myrtle. That's awesome. So, we were triggering each other. She was triggering my depression. I was triggering her anger. She was triggering my depression. I was triggering her anger. And we're driving in this confined little box on wheels that by this stage starts playing up. Our engine starts misfiring. We can't idle properly. We're sitting there and it just stalls. And I'm thinking, is this thing picking up on my bad mood? Are we connected? What's happening here? So I get even more, and I call Goldie a piece of shit. But I say it from a point of, hey, I'm sick of this piece of shit. I'm sick of working on this thing. And then Lindsay takes that as me saying, I'm done with RV life. I want to go back to our apartment in Long Beach. I want to go back to a corporate job or, you know, whatever. So here's the point. We had a bad day yesterday and it didn't end until we woke up this morning. You'll never win arguing with a woman. You wear the pants, but she tells you what colour. I love that. How's things going with you guys, Phil? Are you married yet? Did you get married? Did I hear that, or is that not? I'm interested in hearing what you're up to, buddy, because it's been so long since we've caught up. For anyone that doesn't know Phil, we worked on Tangalooma together. He was in Club Toys, renting the sailboats and snorkeling gear and stuff like that, and I ran the quad tours. Oh, you did get married. Congrats. Good job. So there we are. We're having a bad day, RV life. It's one of those having your shit with your cornflake type days. And it ended this morning. We woke up. We were polite. We had a conversation where we were both intelligent adults talking to each other about our issues, and bang, baby on the way. Congratulations. That's really cool. I'm so glad to hear it. I think you're going to be a really fantastic father. So I guess the whole point is, it doesn't matter what the landscape looks like. You could live in a pretty epic RV, and I know it's been a while. I haven't shown you guys the inside of Golden Ticket, but we've done some really cool work in there, and it hasn't stopped. When we get to Texas, we're going to do a pretty big overhaul, and I'm talking about, you know, we're going to build an expedition RV out of Goldie. So we're going to lifter convert it to 4x4, put a 6.9 V8 turbo diesel in there, and we're going to overhaul the living quarters. So we're going to build an expedition vehicle that will take us further and further to places like to the northern tips of Alaska, you know, to South America for a full circumnavigation of South America. It's all pie in the sky stuff, but it's there, you know, the thoughts are there. So we have an epic life. We live a beautiful existence. Hey Sheldon, thanks for joining, buddy. We live an absolutely epic existence that many people look at and say, fuck, I wish I had that. And you know, we've written programs for anyone that's willing and ready to show you how to have that in your life. We show you how to break free from the system. That's what our programs do. They reconnect you to what matters most. And we live our programs. We live the Hug Your Chaos message. We live it every single day. But even we break down sometimes. Goldie breaks down, we break down. Everybody has problems. It's the shit sandwich, it's the shit on the cornflakes. It happens. So it's just, my only message about that would be to say, it's not what happens along the way, it's what you do with what happens along the way that makes all the difference. You get to decide that, and that's where your power comes from. That's where you have control. You can't control your engine breaking down. You can't control the fights that happen in your relationship. Hey Kyan, how you doing? You can't control any of these other aspects of the world outside yourself. What can you control? When something happens, you can control what you do with it. And that is beautiful. Because when you have that, when you know how to do that, you're playing life on boss mode, baby. You are just taking it to the next level. You're stepping up from being this participant in the game to being the game master. You are moving the pieces. You are rewriting the code. And that is cool. That is fun. So that's what I want to share with you guys. But when you get to that stage, you're still going to eat shit. So choose wisely. Choose what kind of shit you want to eat. Because you're going to eat it. It's going to happen. It's just how you choose to respond to it. Anyway, guys, I don't have anything more to add. I just wanted to share what a hard RV day is like. And worst day on the road is still better than the best day in the office. Much love.